Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're going to look at just one day on planet Earth, August 12, 2025. And what you find on a day like this is a world of stark contrasts, with totally different realities happening all at the same time. So let's start with the high-stakes world of geopolitics. This warning right here from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy really set the tone for the entire day, a tone of tension and, honestly, a lot of uncertainty. You see, on one side of the globe, you have leaders playing this high-stakes game of chess, making these calculated moves that could literally reshape international security for years. And look, Zelenskyy's warning? It wasn't just talk. It was a direct response to what was happening on the ground. A 10-kilometer advance might not sound like a huge distance, but in this kind of grinding conflict, that is a significant push. It absolutely fueled fears of a major new escalation and put just immense pressure on Ukraine's defenses. And this right here, this is the core of the problem. It's the fundamental deadlock at the heart of the war. You have Zelenskyy standing firm, no way are we giving up territory for peace, and then Putin's alleged offer demands exactly that. A ceasefire, but only if Russia gets to keep the Donbass. They're non-negotiable positions, with just no obvious middle ground in sight. And you could just feel the anxiety rippling across Europe. With whispers of a potential summit between Trump and Putin, European leaders were getting seriously worried that they might be sidelined. They feared a deal could be struck right over their heads, a deal that might threaten Ukraine's very existence as a country. Okay, so you've got all that high-level strategy going on. But let's shift gears, because at the exact same time, a completely different and much more personal story was unfolding on the ground, a story of immediate crisis. Over in Gaza, the situation was hitting a breaking point. Just 2 days earlier, an Israeli airstrike had hit a media tent near Al-Shifa Hospital. The strike killed Palestinian journalist Anas al-Sharif and 5 other people, including his colleagues and his nephew. And what happened next? Well, 2 totally different stories emerged almost instantly. Al Jazeera and press freedom groups called it a targeted attack on the media, plain and simple. But the Israeli Defense Forces insisted al-Sharif had ties to Hamas, a claim that was just as quickly rejected by those same press advocates. It's a fight over the truth itself. And you know, the crises on this particular day weren't just about human conflict. The planet itself was sending some urgent signals. All across Spain, you had these record-breaking heat waves fueling unbelievable wildfires, forcing people to evacuate as the landscape just turned to ash. And get this wasn't just happening in one place. Nope. On the very same day, literally an ocean away, communities in Newfoundland, Canada, were facing the exact same threat, fleeing their homes from their own worsening wildfires. 2 different continents, one shared crisis. Now, that smoke from Canada didn't just stay put. It traveled. On August 12th, smoke drifting south from fires in Manitoba gave Minneapolis the unfortunate title of having the worst air quality of any major city on the entire planet. A fire in one country was directly impacting the health of people in another. It's all connected. So you have these huge globe-spanning crises, but the day was also marked by a tragedy that was incredibly personal and sudden. A reminder that laws can hit with this focused, devastating intensity. Yeah, just a really sad story here. The Italian orienteering athlete Mattia De Bertoles, he passed away today. He'd been found unconscious during a race just 4 days earlier at the World Games in Chengdu. His death sent this wave of sadness through the sports world, which remembered him not just for his athletic skill, but also as a brilliant engineer. Okay, I want you to just hold all of that. The conflict, the crises, the personal tragedies, just hold it all in your head for a second. Because now we're going to step into what feels like a parallel universe that was happening on the very same day. The world of money. And while parts of the world burned and mourned, the markets were telling a completely different story. So despite all the geopolitical tension, the human tragedies, the environmental disasters, financial markets were overwhelmingly optimistic. They rallied. Which makes you ask, right? Why?
Well, for the markets, the logic was actually pretty simple, and it was totally laser-focused on just a few things.
A 90-day extension to the U.S.-China tariff truce, that eased fears of a trade war. Investors were also betting big on a good inflation report, and they fully expected the Fed to cut interest rates. As for all the other headlines that day, they might as well have not even existed. So, how are we supposed to make sense of this? You have a single 24-hour period with all these signals pointing in completely different directions. How does it all fit together? I mean, when you lay it all out like this, the contrast is just unavoidable. It's almost dizzying, right? It's like three parallel worlds were all operating at once. A world of military chess moves, another of human and environmental disaster, and a third, totally disconnected world where money only cheered on economic news. All happening on August 12th, 2025. And that leaves us with this really big question. It seems like our world operates on all these different frequencies at the same time, and the one you happen to be tuned into, whether it's politics or human events or the markets, that can totally define the reality you experience. So which story truly defines our world? That's something to chew on long after this explainer is over.